There you are, see? Told you I'll be back. I don't know what happened there. I'll have to look into that, you know. I've not had that come up yet when my phone says 1 minute remaining. Only when I have calls. So I shall look into that and hope that doesn't happen again. But in the meantime, let's go. Let's get going again. Come on, guys, you still there? Oh, look at this. Look at this. Woo! Yep. We're still there. We're still there to talk. Still live streaming. We're just rudely interrupted by the system. Why will it only give me 1 hour? That's exactly how long I've been on for. What's the time? Let me tell you. Back again. Well done, Tony. Well, yeah, back again. Lovely. Well done. I don't know why it gave me an hour, but it did. But I'm back. You're back. Brilliant. Thanks for staying around. Mr. Ching, thank you for watching again. I didn't stop it. Tony, I didn't stop it. The first time. I've been doing live streaming now for about 3 weeks. But I've not seen that come up. I'm doing this on my phone, by the way. Sure some of you are aware of this. But I had a message coming up warning me that it's going to shut down. I have actually been on for an hour, but I've never had that before. Sometimes I can be talking like this for an hour and a half. It's happened before, an hour and a half. But for some reason, it cut out. Everything should be alright now. It better be. Otherwise I'll throw that phone out of the window and get another one. No, I don't think I'll do that. But everything should be alright. And cultures are all over, aren't they? Every country's got its own culture. Some countries' cultures are similar to others, depending on what part of the world you are. But don't you think cultures make it interesting? Doesn't it make the world interesting? We don't all want to be the same. I don't want to go to a country that is the same as England. Otherwise I might as well stay here. I like going to countries, different cultures, friendly people. What are you doing that for? Why are we getting all these sad... What's sad? Who is sad? Don't be sad, be happy. That's better. Look at those hearts coming through. Give me. Thank you. Well, that's it. I'm glad you mentioned that, huh? I am glad you mentioned that because I'm used to going to Vietnam and finding not necessarily foods on the table, but sometimes, well, most of the time, when it's just Vietnamese people, on the floor. Put a great big cloth on the floor, and then you put all your dishes, your meats, your fish, your vegetables all over. Then you have your big rice cooker, don't you? The big rice cooker by the side. Then you have the bowl. Somebody will, a big scoop of rice in your bowl, give you the chopsticks. I'm good at chopsticks, you know, I'm good at them. But I still prefer knife and fork when I'm in England. And then that's what we're doing. We're helping ourselves to food, putting it in our bowl and eating it with the rice. That's different. That's your culture. It doesn't happen in England or most countries in my part of the world. If you go round to people's houses or go in a restaurant, all the food that you order will be on your plate. A big plate, and everything that you want is on that plate. You don't help yourself and put it on, it's on there. But your way of doing things is good. You can put on what you want with your rice. If you want more of one food than another, that's what you do. It's a good way of doing things. It won't catch on in England because it's culture. The culture is to have your meal all on one big plate. Whereas, as I say, your way of doing things is good. It's one of the reasons why people like to come to your part of the world, Vietnam. And on the floor as well. Sadly, people who see me will know I'm rather a big person, and I might struggle to be comfortable on the floor, sitting on the floor, like you guys can. But I try. But I'm also grateful if we go on a table instead. Thank you for sharing, everybody, for sharing this video, which is still carrying on. We're still doing it, aren't we? Eating together is another... I'm glad that's a culture that's still carrying on, because not so much in my country, not so much in England, because you have different... People might be working different times of the day. It does happen now. And because we live a busy lifestyle, especially in cities, we may not always eat around a table at the same time, but I am aware that sort of thing does go on a lot in Vietnam, because it's your culture. That's why. When I was living at home with my parents, brother, sister, sometimes my dad couldn't join us for food because he was working. He was working late, so he had to eat his food later. And then I started working on the buses, shift work, working different times of the day. So I couldn't eat when everybody else was eating. But it's nice to all sit round the table and eat, isn't it? Eat and talk, be sociable. Good way of doing things. Part of your culture. Good luck to you guys for waking up early. I can only assume that, especially the older people, the older, mostly ladies, isn't it? Would you have a rest in the middle of the day? After lunch, perhaps? Would you lie down for about an hour? Make up for this? Or would you go to bed early? Coco Ricardo! Thank you for joining in. Thank you. And feel free to join in about our topic today, which is culture. It's culture. The sun's coming out in England. That's not really a culture of England. We have mixed weather, like you do in Vietnam. But thank you for sharing. And my friend, Kaka Ricardo, with your Vietnam... sorry, not Vietnam, Real Madrid, isn't it? Real Madrid on your profile picture. They're doing rather well at the moment, aren't they? Football culture. Yes, do you know, I've noticed that as well. When I first started getting involved with the student population in Hanoi and started helping people with their teaching before becoming one, I noticed that when we have Christmas, the schools and especially universities, you are having your exams. You take exams around that time, I remember. I presume you still do. But I remember being told that while we're celebrating Christmas, you take exams. But at the Hanoi University of Industry, used to have a lot of friends there, or still have, they had a party afterwards. After the exams, you had a Christmas party. You got shops around Christmas time with Christmas decorations, haven't you? Christmas decorations. You follow Halloween parties. Do you like to all dress up like witches and wizards? That's fun. They're fun times, Christmas, Halloween. You're following Western culture. As you said, an integrated world. You're learning from other people, other cultures, and copying them. It's a good thing. It is. I respect your Tet holiday, my friend. I am aware that it means as much to you as Christmas and New Year does in my part of the world. I'm always wishing you guys a happy New Year in Vietnamese. I write it down. And again, it's a tradition as well as a culture, Tet holiday. It's never on the same day, as you know. It depends on the lunar year. But it must be a good time for you because you know you're going to be with your families. The children must like it because you get lucky money. Yes? Who still gets lucky money? Are you young enough to get lucky money? Or is it the little children who get it? Some people said grandparents get lucky money. Is it Lixie? Lixie? Is that right? Do grandparents get lucky money? Well done. Huh? You're getting into the spirit of things by dressing up in Halloween. What do you dress as, huh? Do you dress as a witch? You know the witch's hat is black. A black hat. Do you put makeup on? Maybe green face? Dressing up and perhaps makeup for Halloween, which is celebrated in a lot of countries. No. But I'm sure but at least you dress up. At least you make the effort, huh? You dress up. What I know of Halloween, traditionally, is children like to come round houses, knock on the door, and when you answer, trick or treat. That's what they say, trick or treat. Now, the treat is if you give them something. Give them money, chocolate, biscuits. Give them something. I normally have some chocolate indoors, which I give to them. But if you don't give anything, then that's where the trick comes in. The trick could be either say unpleasant things to you. They could perhaps pull faces, or they could do that to you. I'd be a good one, wouldn't I? But also, some of the not so good ones, good tricks, they might have eggs, and they might throw eggs at you, which that's up to you whether you think that's acceptable or not. Don't forget, someone's got to clean those eggs up afterwards, and it can be hard to remove. But that's what mostly children, do what's known as trick or treat. So to avoid any of that happening, I make sure I give them some sweets, candy. I do that. So what do you try to be, huh? You want to be something nicer than being a witch for Halloween? What do you dress up as, huh? Let me know. It's funny. What's funny, Tony? That or that? What's funny? Oh, you give them to... So you give to your mum and dad as well. So I got it right about our grandparents. You said your grandmother, huh? And your little brother. Does he go to school, your little brother? So, young children and grandparents, but you give to your mum and dad as well. Well, that's nice. That's very nice of you. You're very generous. Good girl. And you dress up like a rabbit, do you? Do you have the big ears? Do you have the big rabbit ears? Big teeth at the front? That's good. You see, you're enjoying it. You're enjoying a culture. Halloween is the culture of countries like America, UK, I'm sure other countries as well. I'm sure there's many. But it's nice to know that a country like yours, Vietnam, is also getting involved, getting in the spirit of things. The spirit of the culture. That is Halloween and Christmas. So you do celebrate Christmas. You have parties. Halloween, we just mentioned. Easter time. How many of you people are aware of Easter? Do you know Easter? Do you know what it's all about? The culture of Easter mostly is a religious one. It's for mostly Christian and Catholic people, but I do believe other religions, like Jewish for instance, are likely to celebrate it. Because to tell the story quickly, or as we say, to cut a long story short, Jesus, you know Jesus Christ? He died on Christmas Day. No, sorry, he was born. He was born on Christmas Day. Yes. Christmas. That's why we have it. He was killed, crucified, nailed to a cross, left to die on Good Friday. Good Friday is the Friday before Easter Day. All that weekend is Easter, normally held at the end of March or the beginning of April. No fixed date, but it's around that time. He died after being crucified on Good Friday, and his soul come back on Easter, Easter Day, Sunday. That's the story. Don't ask me if it's true or not. I wasn't around when it happened. But that is the belief of a lot of religions. And as a result of that, we celebrate Easter. So, what do we do for Easter? Some people go to church. A lot of people go to church to sing hymns and remember this day. But we give chocolate eggs to our children, to our loved ones, maybe parents, chocolate eggs. And very nice too. And very expensive. But not for me, thank you. I'm on a diet. Yes, Ving, I do. I do, my friend Mr. Ving, but if they've got the money, it could be, maybe it could be a big celebration, it could be a party. And so that's why they're spending a lot of money. Thanksgiving is, I think it's mostly exclusive to American culture. We don't have Thanksgiving in my country, England, UK. I don't know of any other countries that have a Thanksgiving. I think that is exclusive to the USA. But I'm sure if you go up and down their big country, you will find a lot of people will splash out a fortune on that occasion and any other occasion. Halloween. They follow Halloween, Christmas, Easter. It probably depends on the people, but I think you'll find a lot of money is spent. It depends on how big the celebration's going to be, how many people are taking part, whether it's one household or a party. But a lot of people do splash out a fortune. Christmas time, for instance, we buy Christmas cards. They're not cheap, because people are cashing in. People who make these cards, that's charged lots of money. Everybody buys cards at Christmas. Yeah, prices go up at Christmas time, without a doubt. But you know about the chocolate eggs, huh? Yes? Have you had one? Do you get them in Vietnam? I shouldn't think you do. Your country is rather hot. The temperature is higher than in my country. And a chocolate egg is likely to melt. But if you like chocolate, you certainly like chocolate eggs. It's a tradition, and it's part of our culture. Keep sharing that video. Thank you very much, all you people. Yes, I do appreciate you sharing it, getting it to other people. Yes, do you know, I was only talking to friends the other day, Vin, about that. And a lot of it wouldn't affect your country or your part of the world so much, whereas it would affect my part of the world. The reason is there is a lot of processed food. Meat that is not fresh anymore. It's been minced, made into a burger, a sausage. When they make these things, they also put chemicals which could kill you eat too much of it. There's all sorts of things going on, even in the fruit and vegetables that are not fresh. They could put chemicals down to stop insects, flies, from attacking it, from ruining it. That's why you need to wash your fruit and vegetables, incidentally. Fruit and vegetables before you eat them, before you cook them. Processed food is the worst food. It tastes lovely, it does. There's some lovely processed food. Ready meals. We have ready meals. Curries. All sorts of meals. They're already made. You don't have to buy the ingredients in a market and make them like your mothers, your grandmothers do. Go to a supermarket. They're already made. But what's in them? And also, do you guys have microwave ovens? I've not seen many microwave ovens in Vietnamese homes. But if you do, and they're very common in my parts of the world, they cook very quick, but they give off radiation, and they are bad for you. You shouldn't rely on cooking, warming up your food with that all the time, especially. Sometime you have to. But do it the conventional way, the proper way, an oven, a proper oven. A cooker, gas cooker. There's a few reasons for that, Vin, as to why food is wasted. A lot of the time, there's a saying, our eyes are bigger than our belly. We see something in a restaurant. Oh, look at that, that's lovely. I want a big portion of that. I haven't eaten since for 5 hours. Let's have that. I'm hungry, I'm starving. Okay, so up comes the food. Start eating it. Halfway through, it was too big. It was too much. Maybe you're taking a chance. You're trying some new food out. Realising you don't like it, you leave it. There's too much food readily available. I'm using restaurants as an example. But what if you buy food in advance? What if you go to a supermarket, buy up lots of food? I do it. I put mine in the fridge. I try not to waste. But some people do. Some people, they might go to look at their fruits, their vegetables that they've had for about the last 5 days, realise that it's gone mouldy. It's not edible. You can't eat it anymore. That's wasted food. The food is wasted. So we ask for more than what we can eat, even though we end up paying for it. So we should go for smaller portions. It's more healthier for starters, but also it saves waste. Yeah, sometimes you have to store food in the fridge. If you're like me, I don't have time to go to the shop every day. That's why I buy more food and put it in the fridge or the freezer. But I don't waste. I make sure I eat it. But for some people, perhaps they buy too much, and then some of it goes to waste. It can't be eaten anymore. Food might go past its sell-by date. When you open it up, not good. The taste is bad. It looks bad. Try not to waste food. It's not good. When you think how many people are starving in this world, how many people go hungry, you must be guilty of wasting food. Yeah, warming up in a microwave. It's a bad habit over here, it is. And when you're doing that, do not eat the food straight away. Let it cool down. Microwave ovens rely on radiation, which, once you're eating it, you're eating that radiation as well, and it is bad for you. It's healthier, huh? It's healthier if you buy it fresh and not in a can. If it's in a can, chances are it will last a long time, But the reason it will last a long time is because it's had added ingredients. It's had chemicals to make it last longer. If we keep eating these chemicals, which, okay, you can't taste them, but they're there. Keep eating these chemicals, these foods sprayed with chemicals, injected with chemicals to make them last longer. It's not good for you. Ready meals, not good. You don't know what the ingredients is. They put lots of sugar in them. Microwave ovens, as you said, my friend, it's not, they're convenient, but I wouldn't recommend them to use on a regular basis. In my country, I don't know, in fact, in my part of the world, I don't know about in Vietnam, but there is a lot more people who are having cancer, who have got cancer. And it's not just old people, it's young people as well. And one of the main cancers that people are getting is known as prostate cancer. That cancer is to the bowel, which is where your food waste comes out of your body. Now that must be affected by the food you eat. It was not common when I was young, not common with my parents, my grandparents, but you hear a lot about it now, and that's because the food has changed. It has changed. The way we cook it, the way we buy it, what we do with it, before we eat it, of course. Pate, meat, tuna, lovely. Yes, yeah, we are. We are buying more food than what we should. When you go into markets, a market, you know what you're getting. You know what you go there for. When you go in a shop, a supermarket, you've got all these advertisements, all these brightly coloured boxes and tins that are appealing to the eye. They're sort of begging you. It's like the product is begging you to buy me, buy me. And so you do. But you regret it. You might think, oh, I'm sorry I bought this. Or try it and think, I don't like that. I like the picture on the box. I like the cover. But not that nice. It's waste. Waste food. Try not to waste food. If you don't eat it all for one meal, try to save it for another meal. Maybe eat it next time, the next meal. If you can't eat it all for lunch, have it with your dinner. Look after it. Now that is where a fridge is a good idea. It will keep your food a little longer. Yes, that's absolutely true, Ving. While they're using all these additives, too many of these additives are not good for you. They're going into our bodies. And too many of them could have side effects. It has been proven. I've seen a TV program in England about it. About especially not just additives, but colours as well. Colour your food. Colour your tomato ketchup. Do you know tomato ketchup? I think you do. If you was to make tomato ketchup, it would not be red. Red is not the colour of real tomato ketchup. You know that the only thing that's red about a tomato is the skin. Peel that skin away, it's like a greeny, browny colour inside. That's the real colour of the tomato. But in order to get people to buy it, all these tomato ketchup companies, they get artificial red colour, mix it in, so it's lovely and red, just like what a tomato looks like in a shop, in a market. And we all pour it on our food, don't we? Dip our chips in it. Bad. It's bad. That is an example. But additives do go into our foods to prolong the life of food. And we have to be careful. No substitute for fresh food. That's why you guys have got it right. Go to a market early in the morning. Buy your food fresh. I'm just so admire it that you do that. And that you have time to do it as well. You have the time to buy and cook. Sadly, I don't. The answer, Vin, is yes, the public are manipulated by food advertising. Yes, 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 they are. A very good advert, whether it's on a billboard poster or television or online, a magazine, will sell a product. A good advert. And the government, our government in the UK, have started to do things about this, I'm pleased to say. They have stopped the advertising of fast food, that is KFC, McDonald's hamburgers, pizzas, all foods like that, and chocolate as well, Coca-Cola, anything that's got loads of sugar in and is not really good for you. They have stopped advertising of those products during shows, TV programs that children are likely to watch, like cartoons, any sort of show, TV program that will appeal to children, youngsters, music program perhaps. Then the advertisers are banned from showing foods which are not good for you and drink, like Coca-Cola, and that's a good thing. But people should be reminded that it's not just children, but adults. Adults need to be educated as well about that, about all these foods, these very tasty foods, but they're not good for you. I know. Well, for what you just said there, Vin, that is affecting poor people. Poor people who cannot afford to buy the organic food, which is what food was in the first place. Before we had all this, insecticides and chemicals and anything to prolong the life of food, everything was fresh, organic. But now everything is near enough, everything is sprayed on to last or injected to last. The real fresh food has now been labelled organic, and it's more expensive than the food that has been sprayed and injected with chemicals to prolong their life. I think it should be the other way round. I think organic food should be cheaper than processed food. It should be cheaper, that way anyone can buy it. People buy the food that has had chemicals sprayed on it, or mixed up to make it last long, a bigger shelf life, because it's cheaper. That is a shame. Everybody should be encouraged to buy fresh food, and it should be made available cheaply. Sell it cheap. This is lovely, you know. It was, the topic actually was culture. Talking about culture. I know food is a culture, but we have spoken a lot about food, and why not? It's interesting. You don't produce it, that's true, you grow it, huh? Because of the way it's grown, the cost it takes to grow, it is such a shame that it's not mass produced so it can be put into tins or boxes so it can last longer. But when you go to a market, your early morning markets, that's all organic food. That's fresh food. You're not putting any chemicals to make it last longer. You buy the food on the day, early in the morning, and eat it that day. What could be better? Fresh food. Ah, really? I bet they work hard. Farmers work hard, don't they? Ha. Fresh food from the farm. So they know what goes into it. They can look after the produce of the food, or what you grow, the vegetables. So it's an animal farm, is it, huh? Animals, vegetables. So not safe. Why are they not safe? Because markets, would it be because you're in the big city, you are displaying your food outside in the street, and is it the pollution, the traffic pollution? Cars, bikes going along the road can perhaps exhaust fumes can pollute the food. Hello my friend, how are you? Feel free to join in. Good to have your company. Thank you for joining in. We're actually talking about culture, but we're on to food culture now, and we got quite an interesting little debate going on about food, especially fresh food. Yes, there's a lot of cookery programs in England. There's a lot of famous chefs. Jamie Oliver is one of them. And if he can do that, him and the others can educate people for cooking food fresh, not make it have a long shelf life. That would be better all round. Better especially for the people who are eating it. That's good, my friend. You're fine. I'm fine too. Bunley. Good name. Good to see you. And now we have an English name. Cheryl Rita. Thank you for joining. Great to have you joining in on this topic. Yes. What about farm food? Do you get your food fresh from the farm to the market? Now that would be fresh. So you're growing fruits and vegetables in your garden, but how about going to a market early on? I take it you're from Vietnam, even though you got a lovely Western name, Cheryl Rita. And I'm fine too, thank you, Bunle. I'm fine too, thank you. Enjoying talking to you all. We're actually talking about culture, but we got food culture. We're deeply into food culture, and also the freshness of food is a big topic now. Fresh food is better for you. We all know that. It's open for debate, Vin. It really is. A lot of people, and this is a culture as well in many countries, a lot of people will say, get your food and drink from the market because it's fresher. Especially food. It's picked fresh on the day. Do that. But then advertisers are telling us, buy frozen fruit, frozen vegetables. You can put it in your fridge, your freezer for so many days, maybe a week or so, and it will still be fresh. It will taste fresh. When you open the bag, put it in your saucepan and cook it. Who do we believe? Why are they bad for health? Is it what we've been talking about all along? Are they injecting chemicals? Are they spraying it with chemicals? One reason people do that, farmers or anybody who's growing vegetables and fruits, they need to spray their crops to stop insects from attacking them, from destroying them. But while they're doing that, that's not good for the consumer, for us who buy these products, buy this food and eat it. You should know that you always wash your food, wash your fruit and vegetables before you eat it. But does that get rid of it all? How hard do you have to wash it before the skin comes off? And yeah, it's we're taking a chance, we are. We're taking a chance, especially with food that has a long sell-by date on it. A long sell-by date. Food that could last a little longer than a day, just simply because it's got chemicals mixed up in it to make it last. It won't go off. But fresh food, bought on the day, in most cases is good for you. If it's not, then we had an argument just now, didn't we? Well, not an argument. We had a point just now that it won't necessarily be good for you. It could be, your market could be in a place where there's a lot of traffic. Exhaust fumes are coming onto it. And you can't win. Unless you're lucky enough to grow your own food, fruit and vegetables in your own garden. You can not have a problem with insects attacking it, destroying your crop. When ripe, pick it, greenhouses. Do you know greenhouses? Put your food in a greenhouse. Keep the flies away from it. But that's the way you're going to be careful with food. Not have anything wrong with it. Even after washing, everything should be okay. You agree? Thank you, Lee. Foods from China. Are these foods fresh? But a greenhouse is a good idea. It's a good idea, especially to keep insects, flies, from attacking the crop. Yeah, you got to find a solution for this. If there is a better way of doing this, and the only way I can think is greenhouse, but do all fruit and veg grow in a greenhouse? A greenhouse will protect it from insects, but they can get a bit too hot inside, especially on a hot day. Okay, the way out of that is keep watering the plants, the produce. But that is the only way. You're going to have to try to find well, hopefully you'll find a solution. But if there was an action group to say, to actually have the message of do not interfere with fresh food. We don't want anything sprayed on our food, injected in our food to make it last longer. We just want fresh food, organic food, but make this food organic food. Make it cheaper. We want it cheaper so that all people can afford it. Grievous and hideous, yes. You're right. I did understand. Yep. Purchasing power works. It works. If you ever find a produce, once again we're back to fruits and vegetables, or any produce that is sold fresh and cheap, does not have anything sprayed on, injected in. If all of that is the produce, that's what you should be buying. Don't buy anything that's been sprayed, interfered with, got a long shelf life because of it. No. Get your food fresh, but more importantly, cheap. Get it cheap. Somebody bring that price down of organic foods. They're the best food for you. Yes, this has been a long one, hasn't it? Because I had to I had to stop after an hour. I haven't checked the time since, but I'm sure it is late in Vietnam. I know, because we started at 9, and I think a lot of you want to hit the hay now. I've still got the evening ahead, but things are different. It's 6 hours difference in England compared with Vietnam. And when you're awake tomorrow morning. I'll be in the middle of the night sleeping. But good to have you all joining in this conversation, this topic. Thank you for your company. I really did enjoy doing it. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned things, either from the topic we're talking about, or from me, your English speaker. If you can understand me, if you could listen to me, hear me clearly, learn some new words, I hope that has built up your confidence if you guys are learning English. Okay, next one will be brilliant. I love it when people understand me. Thank you very much, Cheryl. I hope to have your company on Monday, because I'm going to be a busy man tomorrow. But Monday I'll be back again to do another live stream, and look forward to your company then. But in the meantime, I wish you good night, sweet dreams, take care.